This right here is my Janus Halcyon 250, and it's not running right. Thankfully, I think I know some people who might be able to help.
This feels like the right spot.
As you can tell, folks, we're here at the Janus headquarters in Goshen, Indiana. I've been talking on and off to these guys since long before I ended up with my Halcyon 250. And now that I have it, I figured the best way to make sure that we get you the best first ride possible on this bike is to have somebody who knows the bike inside and out, get it prepped up and ready to rock and roll. So while they're working on it, we're gonna take a little bit of a tour of the shop and show you around. And I just think it's so cool seeing guys and gals working on stuff they're super passionate about. This is also a really cool shop too. They're building 10 bikes a week. Before we even head inside, I wanted to show you this motorcycle right here, which is perhaps the most infamous Janus motorcycle of all time. This is Doodle's bike. This is the one that she actually had her accident on. And to look at it, you wouldn't know. Now, of course, she did have some highway bars on there, and the saddlebag situation helped out a lot. But really, when you're looking for damage on this thing, got a little there, and a little right there. But other than that, runs and rides great, they say. So the little 250 motor in there is a freaking tank, man. The stuff that I put mine through, I know it lived a hard life when Ben had it, and then it lived an even harder life when I have it, and it is currently living a hard life on my buddy's property out in Bastrop. The motor is not in question, and the rest of the bike looks, honestly, better than mine. Doodle's got a different dash than I do. I kind of dig that one. Although mine, I like the little old dash that I do. Let me show you this one though. This is on the Halcyon 450. This is an older bike that has these dual clocks. This looks freaking awesome. I don't know anybody who can take a look at that twin analog tack and speedo and not love the look of it. So here you got a couple of 450s that are getting ready to roll out, and check out this. They've got a bunch of bikes getting ready to be shipped out. I love the blue on blue here. This is a collaboration they're doing with, I forget the actual company, but you may recognize that logo. It looks so nice. And so this is where the magic happens, you can say. Every single bike comes right out of here. They're assembling a couple of 250s and 450s down there at the end. Starts with a frame, and then 7 or 8 hours later, you got a motorcycle rolling right out of here. This right here is where they test every single one of the bikes that rolls out. So they've got some sniffers for the fuel injected ones, and then they set the idle for the carbureted bikes to make sure everything's ready to rock and roll. They put the miles on it they need to before they roll out to make sure nothing's vibrating loose or sounding funny, and then the bike goes out to the new owner. It's kind of cool to see the setup. It's not a full-on dyno, it's just, you know, rolling road to make sure that they can, you know, do all the testing that they need to get done. I do still want to spin mine up once I get it like perfectly set up right. I want to spin it up on the AF1 dyno and see what it's making. I think the guys at AF1 will have a good chuckle about it. Wheels are all assembled right here. Tires mounted and balanced on the Nomar. The number of times I've struggled with one of these things, I know the pain. But yeah, you can see the rims all set up. Tires ready to go on bikes, and then these are all the exhausts in various forms and fashions. This one right here, you can see, is one of the raw metal ones, and then they will either go out and get polished locally or brushed, like this guy right here. And one of the things that Grant was telling me is that they're using a bunch of local shops. So some Amish folks doing some of the polishing and leather work and all that stuff, and they've got a run that's about 50 miles to go pick up parts from all around. Then here's the parts warehouse, the back of the shop, where, you know, all sorts of bits and bobs are. Battery trays for the 250s Probably for the 450, that looks like a battery box. Subframes for the 250s, I think. What else can I identify here? 450 rear brake switch. I wonder how I could figure that out. But again, it's super cool to see all this stuff because, you know, boxes and boxes worth of parts. Then they come back here to get turned into a full-on motorcycle, and there's different bays all throughout. So they've got a powder coating shop and a paint shop that's off-site that does the painting, but you can see the pinstriping over here. You can see there's one sitting on the jig, getting ready to be done up. And there's the stencils for the 450. Staff meeting happening back there. Let's get out of there. There's probably corporate secrets. And then lastly, service. This is where my 250 is going to be spending some time to make sure everything's running right before we head out. It's got a couple of issues that I've noticed. Does a weird thing when I'm letting the clutch out. These motors, because they're old school, they take a longer time to break in, and you know, I've often said that a KTM transmission can take like 3,000 miles. Grant was saying that, you know, after like 5,000 miles on one of these motors, you'll never need to choke it again in some cases. I'm expecting that if this bike continues to break in and loosen up, it's only gonna get easier to live with. But the nice thing about these 250s is parts cheap, they're everywhere, and they're super easy to service.
I interrupt this rant to bring you a word from today's sponsor, Quadlock. If you haven't heard the good news about Quadlock, I'm about to make your day. That, or you've already skipped ahead, but I wouldn't advise that. You see, Quadlock makes the best phone mount and case combo for your bikes. They make mounts that'll fit every type of bike out there, so if you're tall and need to reposition your phone so you can see it, they've got accessories to help you out. Not only that, but they've got wireless chargers, vibration dampers, mag wallets, and more. Rumor even has it that if you pair a mag ring to the color of your bike, you'll unlock 1 extra horsepower. Or is that just KTM's? I'll check and get back to you. In the meantime, though, click that link down in the description below and check out everything that Quadlock has to offer. And with that, let's get back on the road.
While the bike is getting serviced up, we're gonna go out and check out where they make the fenders, which is about a mile away, they said, and where the leather work gets done. And then we're gonna go ride some bikes. I'm dying to check out the Griffon and the Halcyon 450s. I'm super excited to try the bigger single cylinder because it's fuel injected, so it's a little bit more modern, a little bit simpler to live with. But yeah, we're gonna go check out how this bike feels. I also want to ride a Griffon 250 because I want to see what the 250 feels like with rear suspension as opposed to just a Springer seat. So let's go have some fun. Alrighty, y'all, we are heading out to go check out where they do some of the paint and leather work and steel work on the bike, and we're actually on the Griffon 250, which has rear suspension. So I figured we'd just, you know, since we've got the other 250 at home, we'll just poodle around, test this one out, and then we're going to take the 450s out this afternoon. It's actually a lot taller. I dig the seating position on this. Oh, it's nice being able to just scoot over these bumps without, you know, having your teeth jarred loose. It's a nice thing about suspension is it works. I will say though, I have the Nibby carb ready to rock and roll for my 250, and it gives the bike so much more punch. The PZ30 carburetor that's on their stock, it's fine. It's fine. It gets the job done, but you know, it definitely feels slower to, you know, wake up. It's a little bit slower to get into the power. The Nibby carb makes a big difference. I want to get my first ride filmed so that I can put that carburetor on there and get rid of the PZ30. I like how light these bikes are. They flip side to side so nice. I feel like with the high exhaust though, this would end up droning away underneath you quite a bit. I actually don't mind how quiet the 250 is. You know, if it was like a little baby V-twin, then sure, I'd really want to hear it. But it's a single cylinder, so meh.
I do feel a little obnoxious rolling down this little quiet suburban road. Oh, the suspension feels so nice on this, though. I really do. I wish there was a way I could turn my Halcyon into get a swing arm for it. That would be really cool.
Alrighty, guys, we're inside the new shop that will be the new headquarters eventually, and we're gonna see a couple of things, and I'm gonna let you determine whether or not this motorcycle is made in the United States. So right there, this is where frames are welded together. This is one of the jigs right here, and you can see one back there on the table. They've got all the jigs there, and they've got the bender here. Not Bender Bending Rodriguez Bender, that's just Gen 1.0. And then back over here, they're gonna show us how they hammer out a fender. It's like a 10-minute process, and we'll show you the highlights. But this is a motorcycle factory. And again, I'm gonna let you determine whether or not it's made here. Let me know down in the comments below.
So they're literally handmade.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no robots or overseas stuff on this. It's all American steel made in America. Yearly match filming guys, same with the profiling. When they're at full contact with the metal, there's that perfect allowance for the thickness of the metal between the two. What's happening is as you're stretching the metal, it's getting sucked up in there. And so you have to change your registration on every pass. And you're hitting it a few thousand times in the end. And so you need to be averaging on the center line over the course of those 1,000 hits.
So how many fenders are you hammering out in a day?
Depends on what I'm making, but between 4 and 8. Showing where the fender skirt itself will connect. That's marked at 5/16, but it ends up at 11:30 seconds.
Once it's all stretched out.
The holes get minimally dipped with the drill, so they don't mar the tooling, but then later it's just easier to zip them out.
Yeah.
This fender is also 3/4 of an inch wider than that fender, because in our first attempt at trying to figure out how to do a skirtage fender, we realized that transition sucks. It's just, you don't have enough sidewall, not enough transition. So we added 3/4 of an inch to this fender so that you could get that extra bit of sidewall that transitions right into that. This is one of the very first attempts at trying to figure out, and you can even see like trying to figure out how do you get that bead to transition. I hope we have some footage of some good ones later for you, but this was the first attempt at it.
Well, guys, as we roll out from the other factory, yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Does that feel a little bit more made in the States to you now, or do you still think it's because the motor is... Oh, come on now. I'm on the carburetor, the older carburetor, the Nibby carb. This one needs to warm up a little bit. There we go. Now it's happy. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Does that feel a little bit more like, you know, it's made locally? I know that there's a graphic on their website that says where a lot of the stuff is sourced from, but I don't think until you actually see it happening in real time in front of you that you realize how much is actually going into this. It's crazy to think that those fenders are hammered out right back in there. But yeah, we're gonna go get some chow now, and then after that, we're gonna go hit the road on the 450s because I am really excited to try one of those out. Alrighty, y'all, lunch is accomplished, and now we are setting out from Goshen on the Halcyon 450, and I will eventually be switching out for the Griffon 450 over there. But I'm not gonna lie, immediately, I love this bike. It's taking everything that I love about the 250, which, you know, is the vibe, right? It's everything that you like about, you know, the old classic bike feel, but with more punch and fuel injection. So you don't have to worry about, you know, weird finicky carburetor silliness, and it feels nice just side to side. I mean, it's a little slow because the wheelbase is 16,000 feet long, but I really like it. I really, really like it. It is fun, man. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time shaking it down. I'll switch out for the Griffon, and we'll get our thoughts together. But yeah, initial impressions, thumbs up.
If you guys enjoyed that quick little test ride on the Halcyon 450, I actually have a full review almost going out on the Patreon. It's like 15 or 20 minutes worth of riding footage that I couldn't cram into this one video, so that link is down in the description below. It is exclusive to Patreon people. Let's get back out there.
All right, I had to get on the Griffon 450 before we got back in, and I gotta say, honestly, this one definitely feels a little bit more like a standard naked bike. The tires are still so spindly though, that, you know, you could definitely use a little bit more of a normal tire profile. And it feels like the rake on this bike is a lot longer. So once you get it moving, it's a little bit slower, and you can see just it's very sensitive to inputs. Between the bars and the geometry, I'm just noticing that there's just a little bit more of a tendency to be loosey-goosey. I do wish this has the problem that the 250 does. When it's in top gear and when it's in bottom gear, you can still move. You can pull again, and the lever moves like it's got another gear, and you can press down into first like you're not in first gear. Low gas. Oh man, that's so much fun. Okay, let's get back to the shop, and this time for real, let's see what's going on with the 250. Alrighty, y'all, we're gonna take old 749 here for a spin. They ended up replacing this cluster because there was a break in the wire, and that was definitely causing some of the problems that I was having for sure, where it would just kind of like stumble and die. I think that was just because it was like, oh, you flipped the kill switch. Time to be off now. So hopefully that'll help a lot of the stability and rideability of this motorcycle. It's super cool getting to talk to these guys about these bikes because they're very clearly passionate about all of it. I am so glad that I brought it up to have the guys actually work it over, because it was not particularly happy earlier. I'm gonna see if I can't go find me some grooved pavement. Yep, here we go.
Oh my god, I almost died! No. I almost died, I was so scared!
See, I'm no longer alive. I don't exist anymore. I ran over grooved pavement. I'm on the same mental level as a 5-year-old. I see big springs, I go bouncy bounce. I can literally just bounce down the road on these seat springs. Oh man. The more I ride this bike, the more I like goof around on it, the more fun I end up having.
2 hours later.
Well, folks, as you can tell, rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. The bike made it back just fine. So it's actually feeling really good now. It's definitely
how it's supposed to be. So now the plan is to load this thing back up, get it back home to Texas, and start tearing it apart and making it, I think I'm gonna go for like a board track racer vibe, something old school. See if I can have some fun with it and maybe get it in the hand-built show. So, because that'd be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna do a new carburetor, maybe new exhaust, definitely new handlebars, and maybe I'll throw some modern touches on there too, just because I can. A huge shout out to the folks at Janus for working with me today, letting me ride their 450s, for getting number 749 feeling happy again, and tolerating me running amok in their shop all day. Yeah, let's hit the road.